collection of shorts between Italian translation. Long time no vlog. I have a bunch of updates to share with you guys, but the current read, Phantom by Susan Kay. I finished Phantom of the Opera last week, loved it, and so I got a very kind book recommendation from one of you guys, and I had to pick this up. It's the story of the Phantom's life, so the Phantom of the Opera, Eric, from his birth to his death, and it's told from the perspective of various characters who play pivotal roles in his life. Start with his mother, telling the story of how he was born, and his childhood, and then we get a perspective from Eric himself as well, which I just finished, and now we are on to the next character's perspective, which I just started, so I'm not quite sure who this is yet. I really love the format of it. I love the first perspective from each character that we get. It does a lot to humanize the Phantom. We see how his psyche was shaped and how he has come to adopt the worldviews that he does. I'm loving this so far. I am 25% in, so just about a quarter. So today the plan is to meet up with my friend for lunch, and we're going to do some work from a cafe. I might get some reading done as well. Okay, I feel like this is not the look, so we're back. Excuse the glare from the lamp. I got a lamp recently from IKEA. Sometimes it will reflect. There's better lighting this way, so bear with me, please. I had a good lunch with my friend. We did some good work. I think it was a much needed walk about instead of staying cooped up all day inside. I did not read too much, but I want to share what I've been reading. So, since you already know what I'm reading, let me tell you what I want to read. I'll show you some of the things that I picked up recently. I got a copy of The House Guest. I'm actually not sure who wrote this. Amparo Davia. It is a translated work of fiction. The original is Spanish, I believe, and it was translated by Audrey Harris and Matthew Gleason. It is a collection of short stories, so it's compared to Kafka, Poe, and Shirley Jackson. Davia's stories are terrifying, mesmerizing, and expertly crafted. You'll finish each one gasping for air. I'm aware it was published a few years ago, but I found this secondhand, and the cover grabbed my attention, and I'm pretty sure I heard Jack Edwards talk about it a few years ago or something. I don't know if I'm in a headspace for a horror or psychological thriller at the moment, so we'll see whenever I get to pick this up. The rest of the books, I've shown them on my stories, but we have The Invisible Man. I love these Penguin English Library editions. I'm collecting a few of them now, and the stack is growing. Pretty straightforward. It's about the Invisible Man, whose name is Griffin, is a guest at an inn, and he is assumed to be an accident victim, but he's actually developed a process to make him invisible and is desperate to find the antidote. Once again, not in the mood for this, but I also picked up The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk. This is a nonfiction that I have been meaning to pick up for years now, about the effects of trauma on the mind, the body, and the brain. It explains how trauma is stored, what trauma is, and how our body retains that information. I think I will definitely focus on finishing Phantom first, and who knows if I will get distracted by one of the many books that I have on my Kindle, so I will keep you posted. I think I want this to be my next read. This is for Women in Translation Month. This is an option. So this is Like Water for Chocolate by Laura Esquivel. She's a Mexican author, and I first heard about this from Emma's book club, but it is a secondhand book, so I am going to try and freeze it. I don't have a bigger plastic bag, but I read somewhere that you need to put your secondhand books in the freezer up to 24 hours and put them in a bag so they don't get soggy. So that's what we're trying to do. Hopefully this works.
Well, this is a good time to just be king. It's certainly very difficult to let go enough.
It is a black rain thunderstorm today, so we're all staying home. The black rain thunderstorm is when transport lights are down, travel is expressly discouraged. We are all stuck indoors today. This is the moisturizer I use. I know Solus is like meant for more mature skin, but never too late to start anti-aging is what I like to say. Tired, but we're getting through it. Update on the current read, In Love by Alfred Hayes. I've also switched my font over to E.B. Garamond, which I really like. I think I read somewhere that this is the font that they used for the Harry Potter books, the originals. And so there's just some kind of old bookish quality to it that makes it feel less like a Kindle and more like a book, if you know what I mean. I am 35% through. It is a longer read for me pace-wise because the author writes very lengthy sentences and they're very run-on with loads of commas. So it takes me a while to string together the full meaning of a sentence. It makes me sound so slow, but I feel like between doom scrolling and alternating with this, my brain is getting a workout. I have been setting up my new laptop. She's right here. And she's gorgeous. I also got an iHerb package. That was super fast. I don't know how quickly that came. I ordered this yesterday and it came today. So that was some real fast delivery. But I'm gonna unbox this while I wait for my laptop to charge. Most of it is supplements that my roommate ordered, so these aren't mine. I only ordered two things, which are almond oil. I got sweet almond oil, pure unscented. So the reason I got this is because I want to try mixing it into my moisturizer, because I heard that it's supposed to be really good for moisturizing your skin, keeping it, from becoming dry and flaky. So I want to try this out. And then I got some vitamin D. So I also wanted to talk about some of the books that I came across at the bookstore. Before I picked up my laptop, I went into the bookstore, of course, as one does, and I came across a few books. I always love browsing through and finding these not exactly obscure, but titles that I wouldn't have picked up otherwise. So I'm going to introduce you to some of the ones that I found today. I didn't end up buying them because I wanted to scope them out first. So we have The Mortal and Immortal Life of the Girl from Milan by Domenico Starnon, translated by Unag Stransky. This is translated from the Italian, so apparently the author is one of Italy's master storytellers and very celebrated. I actually don't know what it's about. It is a coming-of-age contemporary novel. This caught my eye because I rarely ever read Italian translations. I don't think I've ever, apart from Italo Calvino? Yes, Italo Calvino's Italian folktales, which I am not done with either. Not close to being done either. Then we have A Treachery of Swans by A.B. Poranek. So this is a sapphic retelling of Swan Lake. Swan Lake? Yeah, Swan Lake. So it's told from Odile's point of view. She has a mission to restore magic to her kingdom. And Odette is her childhood best friend turned enemy in this, but they paths cross and, things happen. But just the sight of a Swan Lake retelling, I was like, I'm sold. And the cover is gorgeous as well. Like, look at this cover. But that combined with Swan Lake retelling, like, do I have to say more? I feel like the girls who get it are gonna get it. The writing style looks pretty easygoing, something that's not too hard to digest, which I definitely need in between my classics and nonfiction. And then the last book that caught my eye is Gothic Tales of the Marquise de Sade. So this is a collection of short stories. If you don't already know, I am a sucker for a good short story collection, especially a gothic horror themed one, and that's exactly what this is. It is an older one. It is a classic, published in 1965, and it is translated by Margaret Crosland. Those are my bookstore finds. But as for right now, let me show you. So my current read at the moment is Careless People by Sarah Wynne Williams, and this is her memoir of her years working at Facebook as, I believe, the director of public policy. And it's supposed to be very explosive, very telling. And there's been a lot of buzz around this one, and the people that I've known who have read this have given it really good reviews. 6% in. So I also got into NBA recently after watching Starting Five on Netflix, and I've downloaded LeBron's biography. Right there, if you can see. Yeah, I have that. The other elephant in the room that I need to talk about is catabasis, as R.F. Kuang herself says, or catabasis, however you want to call it. But I went to the bookstore, and that was the first thing my eyes were greeted by, a whole display of catabasis, and they were giving away free tote bags as well. And I was really contemplating getting it, but I have too many books at the moment, so I decided to just pick it up on my Kindle. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. For the meantime, I am just gonna continue setting up my laptop.